Very pleased to be joined here at SB Nation by the one and only, the internationally famous. He is set to play the role of 007 in the new James Bond movie. It is from the Carolina Panthers, Adam Thielen. Adam, thank you so much for joining us. Is that true?
Not true. But no, thanks for having me, and yeah, excited to be with you.
I have a weird question because I'm not a professional athlete, and I imagine, like a lot of people, what it would be like to be one. Your story is great and everybody knows it, and you're a Minnesota guy through and through. When you hit free agency, if I were you, and I know you played golf, and I have a lot of questions about that during your days, obviously, before moving. I remember Ray Allen when he left the Celtics and he went to the Heat. I remember reading something. I don't know if it was in Golf Digest or Golf at the time, but how he literally considered Miami because he could play more golf. Again, acknowledging that you're considering competitiveness and how successful you can be, et cetera, et cetera. Was Carolina partly, even if it was just a plus on top, a cherry on top, in consideration because it's a better golf scene?
It definitely didn't hurt being able to play golf year round, but yeah, in the NFL, you don't really have an opportunity to choose like that. But yeah, like I said, definitely didn't hurt. I mean, when I went on my visit there, they had a golf simulator in the locker room, like literally steps from my locker. So all those things definitely were a cherry on the top. So definitely excited to be in Charlotte and being able to play all those great golf courses in the off season, and all the golf around there within 3 hours is pretty incredible.
For sure. Did you check out Quail Hollow at all? Anything to do with the PGA this year?
I did, yeah. I was able to go out there a few days for the PGA, and then played a couple times since the PGA was over. So, what an amazing place, and yeah, great golf course. One of my favorites I've played. So, very fortunate to be kind of in my backyard.
How'd you do? I mean, if you've got to tell us now. If you've been there a couple times, you can tell us your favorite score. Doesn't have to be your best one, but I mean, if you've played it
Oh,
in recent major championship conditions, we have to know.
yeah, I'll have to look at my gin, but I'm pretty sure I saw it 74 there. Played one of my best rounds I've played all year, and was pretty flawless. I think I missed maybe two fairways, but I definitely wasn't playing the tournament tees.
Sure.
So, but it was yeah, it's such a great golf course. The greens are so good that once you kind of get a feel for the speed of those greens, you're going to make some putts. So it's a lot of fun to be able to play that a couple times.
I realized after I asked you that I'm probably putting you a little bit on blast. You got a big tournament with a lot of other people coming up. I don't want them to know this. I want you to kind of sandbag them a little bit. You're out here like, yeah, I shot a 74 at Quail Hollow. It's tough. Do you know, in that respect, what the internet lists your handicap at?
Yeah, I think I'm a 0.8 right now.
See,
Um,
you need to talk to some people, Adam, because it says 0.7 on the internet.
okay. Yeah, well, I'm trending up, which is not a good thing. But yesterday I played, and just to kind of be able to sandbag a little bit here. So thanks for the opportunity. But yesterday I played, and I barely broke 80. Like I eagled 18 just to break 80. So the game is up and down for sure. But that's what keeps you coming back.
You also, according to Google, won a state title in golf. I mean, I'm sure you've talked about this before, but I need to know the full story, the full sequence, and where that ranks on your list of athletic accomplishments to this point.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't individually win the state championship. It was a team state championship. So thanks to great teammates that were a little bit better at golf than me, we did win the state championship, first one in school history at my high school. So that was pretty cool. Since then, I think they've won a few more. So I think they just won again this year. I know they just won again this year. So men and women. So pretty cool. Little tradition that was kind of started, but yeah, I definitely wasn't very good, but enjoyed doing the golf trips and hang out with the buddies. I played four sports all the way through high school, so it was hard to put too much attention into golf, but I really enjoyed being a part of the team and doing all that. But like I said, definitely wasn't an individual championship.
I mean, your NFLPA team, though, is also winning team titles. Like you're kind of made for team golf at this point. It's a Ryder Cup year. If Keegan wants to consider you, you know what I mean? Like you fit into that format is ultimately my takeaway in the sense.
That's a great point. I don't know if I'm technically eligible for the Ryder Cup, but if they need a good team golfer, I'm available. I'll make myself available.
So I cover the Dallas Cowboys primarily. I cover golf here at SB Nation, but I'll be honest in saying that I love the Ryder Cup. And we all love it, but I kind of hate when it comes around because it falls generally week 3, week 4 of the season. It's kind of a drag. You know what I mean? It's kind of, you've got a lot of things going on. What is that week like for you? Because I imagine you're tuning in. Is it a little bit? Again, I would never say you're distracted, but it's a thing to balance. It's a thing that's in the back of your mind that maybe you've got on in the locker room or whatever as you're prepping for the Packers, the Dolphins, whoever you happen to be playing that week.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's great when there's stuff like that going on because it does give you a great opportunity to take yourself away from the game a little bit. I think so much of the time in the NFL, like, we're always around the game. We're always watching the game. You're watching Sunday Night Football. You're watching Monday Night Football. You're watching Thursday Night Football. Like, you're watching all this football, and then you're watching tape, and you're preparing for your game. So it is kind of a nice little escape to be able to just, have something else that's competitive and fun to watch and that you're really interested in that's on TV. So I really enjoy it. One year when the Ryder Cup was here in Minnesota at Hazeltine, I was able to, I think it was on bye week actually. So that worked out great because I was able to go out to the event, which was very special. And I believe it's coming back here in 2029 maybe. So excited to be able to go check that out.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are great coincidences. The Whistling Straits here, the Cowboys play on Monday Night Football. So, worked out nicely for me. You know what I mean? It's, whatever. But I'm always curious how that kind of tends to go. Who's the best NFL player you've ever played with? If I had to guess, it would be Patrick Peterson, just based on kind of the lore. If obviously you've been around Patrick, whatever, but who's the best stick that's an NFL player, was at one point, any point that you've played around with?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. Actually, Matt Ryan's really good. Especially now that he's retired. I played with him this winter in a tournament, and he's a great player. Trying to think, Tony Romo, played with him. He's a great player. For a few years there, he was really good, and I'm sure he's getting back to it. But yeah, no, there's a lot of great players. There's a lot of guys in the NFL, which is cool, which you wouldn't think that are super into golf. Doesn't mean they're great at golf, but there's a good maybe 12, 15 guys in our locker room that just love to play all the time, or always hitting balls and talking about it. So it is cool to see all the guys that are interested in the game.
Yeah, I interviewed Matt at the Super Bowl a few years ago and asked him, what it's like to be the Falcons quarterback around the Masters every year. Because if you're a prominent, Atlanta figure, Georgia figure, you probably get hit up in a way that, maybe you did for the Ryder Cup in Minnesota type thing. And he said he played it a bunch of times, and I asked him for a score, and he wouldn't give it. He said, I was pleased. And I took that to me, and he did fairly well. You talked about some kind of overconfidence. That was what I also wanted to know. Whose confidence is maybe the most improper ratio to their actual golf game in terms of players that you've played with in the NFL?
That's a good question. Oh shoot.
And like in a legit way, not like the guy who's like the class clown. He's talking like he's good, but everybody knows he sucks way. Like a dude who actually believes he's legit, but you in the back of your mind you're like, man, like let's we need to talk about this a little bit here.
Oh man, that's a great question. I'm trying to think of somebody. It'll probably come to me after I get off with you, but I mean, I probably have to go with Nick Scott. He's a teammate of mine. He's actually way better than sometimes he says he is, but he does have this like amazing confidence to his golf game, and he plays more and thinks more and buys more clubs than anyone I've ever been around.
Perfect answer.
And so it's fun to see, but we have some great competitions. I have to give him some shots, so it always ends up pretty even, but he's got me the last couple of times. But yeah, he definitely is the only one I can think of.
That's the best way to put it was like he's buying more golf gear. I should have put it that way. So good job saving the question. I imagine something like the ACC is one of your last hurrahs, maybe before the season starts, because shortly after camp begins, and from that moment on, it's a marathon, and you want it to go as long as possible. Do you view it that way? And is it difficult to play in something like this beyond the fun, because you are one of the better golfers? I mean, because there are people like that show up that, are just there for the celebrity of it all. You obviously take it seriously as a competition. I imagine that you're balancing trying to have fun and interact and network to some degree, but you also want to win.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's why it's my favorite week of the year, because it is a cool balance of like events and obviously Lake Tahoe. It's beautiful. You got the lake, you got the mountains. There's so much to do outside of the golf tournament. And American Century does such a great job of hosting the event and putting on a great show and really making it competitive and serious golf, but also having fun at the same time. So, once Wednesday, Thursday rolls around, I'm ready to roll, lock in, and play my best golf and be super competitive. Which honestly, for me, I love competitive golf. Like
Right.
it's my favorite thing. Like going out and playing with the buddies, yes, I love that. It's fun. But it's not the same. There's just something about having to lock in and focus, and that kind of just that grind that it takes to really be able to focus and lock in for 18 holes and to try to be at your best and to be able to overcome adversity, which you're going to face on the golf course. And I really take that and use that for my game, my sport. A lot of times when I'm out there on the golf course, I forget that I'm a football player. I think I'm a PGA player, and quickly humbles me and reminds me that it's not my day job.
It's interesting that you reach a point where you're like, I'd rather just like run a slant across the middle. You know what I mean? Than do this. Like that's most people wouldn't, compartmentalize things that way. But it's an interesting balance. You mentioned Tony Romo. I don't know if you recall this, but there was a time where he would try in the summer or the off season to qualify for the U.S. Open, which a lot of people do, obviously, but I'm sure you can understand the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys carries a different air of attention, and so him doing that was a pretty controversial thing for some people. And so I always found it amazing that he could balance it, just kind of based on what you're describing there. You talked about it being your favorite week of the year, and obviously it leads you right into training camp. Do you like the Stableford method of it all and the scoring format? I mean, because that might be the one thing I can never get into it. And I'm not saying there's anything bad about the ACC, but that would be the one thing that would maybe make it a 99 out of 100 for me.
Yeah, no, I love it.
Okay.
Playing in it and just like that, again, like that grind of like, hey, you make a double, like
Right. Yeah. That's fair.
doubles stink like when you're playing stroke play. Yes, but like they really hurt when you have a negative 2 points. Like you work so hard, you make two pars in a row, you got 2 points,
Yeah.
and like
And
you
just
par one, you par two, and then hole number three, you make a double, and you're like going backwards. You're back to zero. You're like, I mean, it couldn't hurt anymore. Or when you make that birdie and you get 3 points for a birdie, like it's like, whoa, I just made up for everything. Like I
yeah.
just made three pars. Like that's huge. So yeah, I love it. It's great for that event. I think that way to score it is my favorite way because it does give you the ability to catch up. Like guy
Sure.
makes a double, like that's a big loss. And so yeah, and now it kind of makes me rethink of how I play stroke play, or like when I go and play my buddies, like I'm thinking like I can't make a double. Like I
Yeah.
make a double, like that's -2 in Tahoe. Like it's interesting how it's kind of changed my perspective, but I do enjoy it.
I'm a bit of a traditionalist, but I think you sold me. And if I can say that Adam Thielen changed my mind on the Stableford method, I mean, it's a pretty fair way to go about that. Penultimate question for you: are you into YouTube golf at all? Like, do you watch it? Because you seem like a golf sicko, and I say that in the best way. So I don't know if you're watching this, and maybe it's just course design videos or whatever. You got a million things going on. You got kids, whatever. But when you have that 5-10 minute window, are you checking out golf stuff on YouTube as well?
So I'm a golf sicko in a different way than most people. Um, I do not watch YouTube golf. I could care less about course design. I could care less about playing top 100 courses. I just want to be on the golf course, and I want to be playing competitive golf. And wherever that leads me, I love it. Like I truly enjoy it. I do like to watch, major tournaments.
Totally.
Throw on the golf channel every once in a while and watch golf. But But yeah, for me, it's more just being out there and being competitive. That's what I love to do. And again, could care less what that course is, as long as I'm out there competing.
That's a good perspective. Like and it's the ultimate, like, I hate the driving range. I practice on the course type of vibe. So I can respect that. Last one, just wanted to give you a chance to talk about your foundation. I mentioned you have kids. It's focused on youth. Great work you're doing, and things like the ACC certainly offer an opportunity for you to amplify the work that you all are doing.
Yeah, American Century does an unbelievable job of giving back. So they kind of set the standard of that, and they're very, very, um, they're very open to kind of talking about the impacts they're making, and so it's really been cool to be a part of the American Century Championship for that reason, just to see all the good they're doing, and every year they kind of give an update of what they've been doing, the impact they've been making. So it's really cool. But yeah, our foundation is helping youth reach their full potential. So we kept it broad, and for really one reason is that we could make an impact where we felt was making the most impact. So when we started the foundation, we wanted to make sure that we were kind of going in the direction that was making the biggest impact.
Right.
And so we've been able to kind of do a lot of different things. And what we found, and where we've kind of focused a lot of our attention now, is helping youth through sport. So
Sure.
giving them resources, opportunities to really be successful and to be excited to be a part of teams and sports. And ultimately what we've seen from that is, once they have a brand new weight room with all new equipment and these resources, or new jerseys or new equipment, more kids want to play that sport. More kids want to be out in a team sport. And now, to be able to play in a sport, you got to be able to get good grades and be able to pass, and eventually finish high school and get that education. So we've found so many benefits from sport, and my wife and I both played sports all the way through high school and college, and know how much of an impact it can make in life. So that's been really cool to see. But yeah, at the end of the day, helping youth reach their full potential in a lot of different avenues, but really focused on doing that through sport, and giving kids that don't have those resources, opportunities, a chance to feel supported and feel loved, and be able to have those resources to be at their best.
That's awesome. And the domino effect makes a lot of sense. Like you outlined, incredible work that you all are doing. I lied. I'm sorry, Adam. My actual last one, I mentioned I cover the Dallas Cowboys. Jonathan Mingo hasn't gotten a lot of pop, a lot of attention, a lot of whatever. You obviously played alongside him. Just kind of curious for anything you can tell people about Mingo as he gets to, have a chance to play a full season with the Cowboys. Obviously got traded, at the deadline last year.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the last 2 years gone through a lot of adversity, a lot of different coaches, different offenses, a lot going on. I will say that I think he's got a lot of potential. He's a great kid, hard worker, great locker room guy. He's going to do all the right things. If you tell him to do X, he's going to do X. That's just the type of person he is. And just a ton of talent. Can run, can jump. He's strong. He's big. So I think there's a lot of potential there. I think when he kind of really settles in and is a part of the same system, and earns that trust of his quarterback, I think he's going to, obviously a great guy to have on the team, because he provides a lot of depth, and a guy who can do a lot of different things. He can play in the slot. He can play outside. He can block. He can take the top off the defense. So there's a lot of things that he does well. I always believe in versatility. Like, if you can play the different positions, and you can do a lot of the different things, not just be a one-trick pony per se, I think it gives you a great opportunity to have success in this league, and I think he's one of those guys.
That's the Adam Thielen story. I mean, from day one. And if that's your golf game too, you know what I mean? If you can just get out of trouble here, bail out here. I know you mentioned at Quail Hollow, you only missed 2 fairways, Adam. I mean, you said that very chill. But if you can survive on the 2 fairways that you miss, you'll I think you'll finish pretty happily. But hit them straight in Lake Tahoe and continue to do some fantastic work, and enjoy the rest of the off season before the marathon does begin in about a month's time.
I will say my punch out game is really good.
Well,
so
you don't have to use it that often.
When I'm out there.
Yeah, so it better be good if you only got to call on it like 2 times a round. But that's awesome. Seriously, we'll be watching in mid-July. Kill it and go win the whole thing. You know what I mean? Why not start 2025 off from a competitive standpoint strong?
Let's do it. I appreciate you.